Ibinabo's story began on a night marked by horror. Her mother, Pere, lived in a small, peaceful village with her mother and siblings. One fateful evening, thieves broke into their mother's home. Amid the chaos and violence, Pere was assaulted. She was a young, unmarried woman at the time, full of dreams and aspirations. When Pere discovered she was pregnant, her world shattered. The villagers whispered behind her back, and her once supportive family grew distant. Still, Pere decided to keep the child, a decision that came with a heavy burden. She named her daughter Ibinabo, a name that symbolized hope. From the moment Ibinabo was born, life was an uphill battle. Pere, unable to find a stable work, resorted to begging to feed herself and her baby. They lived in abject poverty, surviving on the charity of a few kind-hearted villagers. The shame and stigma were relentless. Pere was constantly reminded of her past trauma, and Ibinabo bore the brunt of the community's cruelty. As Ibinabo grew, the taunts and insults from her peers became a daily torment. Bastard, they called her. Bad blood. Even her family members, especially her aunts, labeled her a stain on the family's honor. Despite the adversity, Ibinabo was a resilient child. She clung to her dreams of education and a better life. The pressure became too much for Pere. She couldn't bear the constant humiliation any longer. One day, she left Ibinabo in the care of her aging mother and disappeared. Ibinabo was heartbroken and confused. She felt abandoned and alone, but she refused to let her spirit be crushed. Ibinabo's grandma did her best to care for her, but she was old and frail. The villagers' cruelty only intensified. Yet, Ibinabo's determination to succeed never wavered. She walked miles to attend school, often studying by candlelight after completing her chores. She excelled academically, driven by a fierce desire to rise above her circumstances. Years passed, and Ibinabo's hard work paid off. She gained admission to a college in the nearby town, a rare achievement for someone from her village. One morning, on her way to college, she encountered a scene that would change her life forever. An elderly man lay injured on the side of the road, the victim of a ghastly motor accident. The passerbys ignored him, but Ibinabo couldn't. She rushed to his side, used her limited medical knowledge to stabilize him, and called for help. She stayed with him until an ambulance arrived and accompanied him to the hospital. The elderly man, Mr. Ovie, was a wealthy and influential figure. He was deeply moved by Ibinabo's kindness and dedication. As he recovered, he learned about her struggles and was impressed by her resilience. When he was discharged, he insisted on taking Ibinabo to his home. Mr. Ovie had no children of his own and had always longed for a daughter. He decided to adopt Ibinabo, providing her with the love and support she had never known. Under his guidance, Ibinabo flourished. She excelled in her studies and went on to medical school, a dream she had harbored since childhood. Ibinabo's journey to becoming a doctor was not easy, but with Mr. Ovie's unwavering support, she succeeded. She graduated at the top of her class and quickly established herself as a renowned physician. Her reputation grew, and she became known not just for her medical skills, but also for her compassion and dedication to helping the less fortunate. Remembering her own painful childhood, Ibinabo decided to dedicate her life to helping others. She opened an orphanage, providing a safe haven for abandoned and orphaned children. She ensured they received education and health care, giving them the opportunities she had fought so hard for. Ibinabo also set up scholarship programs and vocational training centers, empowering the underprivileged to break the cycle of poverty. She worked tirelessly, driven by her own experiences of suffering and resilience. Ibinabo searched and found her mother, Pere, looking old and frail, consumed by guilt and regret. She had heard of her daughter's success and felt unworthy of her love. Ibinabo, however, harbored no bitterness. She welcomed her with an open arms, providing her with the care and compassion she had always yearned for. Ibinabo continued to expand her orphanage and charitable works, ensuring that every child under her care felt valued and loved. As Ibinabo's orphanage grew, so did her influence. She became a well-known figure in her country, often invited to speak at conferences and events about her journey and importance of giving back to society. Despite her success, Ibinabo remained humble, never forgetting the struggles of her past. Pere, now living with Ibinabo, was overwhelmed by the love and forgiveness she received from her daughter. She had spent years in self-imposed exile, haunted by the shame and guilt of abandoning Ibinabo. But Ibinabo's unconditional acceptance and forgiveness began to heal the wounds of the past. Ibinabo's story inspired many in her village and beyond. Young girls once hesitant to dream now became hopeful and dreamt big. She established mentorship programs, pairing successful professionals with aspiring youth. The village, once steeped in prejudice and conservatism, began to change. The villagers who once mocked and ostracized Ibinabo started to see the error of their ways. They took pride in their achievements and began to support the orphanage and other initiatives. One day, while attending an international medical conference, Ibinabo met a man named Dr. Priye Ibiama, a leading expert in pediatric medicine. Dr. Ibiama was captivated by Ibinabo's story and her dedication to helping underprivileged children. They struck up a friendship that soon blossomed into something deeper. Dr. Ibiama shared Ibinabo's vision and passion for helping those in need. Together, they developed plans to expand the orphanage and build a state-of-the-art children's hospital in the village. Their partnership brought new hope and possibilities to the village. The construction of the children's hospital began, funded by generous donations and tireless efforts of Ibinabo and Dr. Ibiama. The hospital aimed to provide free medical care to children from impoverished backgrounds, ensuring that no child would be denied the care they needed. As the hospital neared completion, Ibinabo and Dr. Ibiama decided to get married. Their union was celebrated, and together they continued to work on various projects, expanding their reach and impact. Ibinabo's work began to gain international recognition. She was invited to join global health organizations and collaborate on initiatives to improve healthcare in developing countries. Her orphanage and hospital became models for others to follow, demonstrating the power of change. Ibinabo's story was featured in numerous publications, and she became a sought-after speaker. Despite her busy schedule, she remained committed to her roots, often returning to the village to spend time with the children and oversee the projects. Ibinabo turned her pain into purpose, creating a legacy of love, compassion, and resilience. Her work continued to impact countless lives, providing hope and opportunities for those who needed it most. As she looked towards the future, Ibinabo knew that her journey was far from over. She remained committed to her mission, always seeking new ways to make a difference. Surrounded by her loved ones, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment and peace. Ibinabo's story proved that no matter the circumstances of one's birth, it is possible to rise above and create a legacy of kindness and compassion. Ibinabo's legacy lived on in the hearts of those she had touched, a reminder that anything is possible.